Hey y'all, welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Colton here with Brandon. 5 cards, 5 minutes. We're talking about rares and double rares from the new Kaguya set. Brandon, what's our first card?
First up, we have a 1-0 counter. You have to have Kaguya or Miyuki in name to be able to play it, but you can look at the top four cards of your deck, choose one at hand. You can put one of these copies in memory. Look at up to four cards. You'd have to choose all four, so you can kind of be very selective in how many cards you look at, getting character to hand to replace it.
Yeah, this is just the torch profile that we've seen in other places. The reason we wanted to talk about this card first is because the rest of the main Kaguya mid-game package that we see in the new set revolves around this card, which can be played offense, defense. It's selective mill, adds, so it's good fixing tool, and it combos specifically with the level 1 combo, the Kaguya level 1 on pants. It gains 2,000 power when you play an event that's on attack or defense, so it can go up to 6-5 on defense just by playing the torch event. When you play the pants, if this card's in the front row, you can look for one of those torch events in waiting room or in deck. So if you tri-field this, you will definitely get 3, no matter if they're in waiting room or in deck. It swings in at 7-5 if you use an event. It will only be 5-5 if you don't have any in hand, but if you play the event beforehand, you can then immediately go get it back with this. We've seen this combo before, like we've seen these kinds of things before, but again, the entire Kaguya mid-game package for the new set is really built around this level 1 pants combo.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting is just one copy of the torch defensively pumps up all of the lanes that have this card by 2k power. So you could potentially bump all lanes up to 6-5 with just one use of torch. But next up we have the level 0. This is our level 0 Ricky of the new set. It gains the ability of pay 1, clock yourself from waiting room to be able to draw a card. And it also has the ability to run away on your opponent's attack phase to a spot that doesn't have a character facing it. So being able to pay 1, clock yourself to +1, and the ability to try to potentially stay alive at 0 makes this a pretty effective tool, considering the previous Ricky is essentially banned out of a normal deck if you're also going to try to run the drop search.
Normally, I would say that a draw Ricky would be pretty outmoded in 2023, but on a character that is also a runner, can potentially plus on board, and in a deck that wants to play events, so it allows you to actually get those into hand just off the top of deck. This is a neat profile. I expect to see this in this Kaguya package. It can, push you into one. Obviously, it can do so also without clocking climaxes. I'm a fan of this. This is a neat profile. Next, the 2/1 Mid-Autumn Moon Miyuki can play your events without meeting color conditions, and you also get 2,000 power for all of your level 3s in front of this. Most importantly, you can ditch a CX on an act ability and rest this to salvage. So on-demand CX ditch salvage in a deck that runs pants. This is just generally a solid piece.
Yeah, I think especially with you looking at probably playing into early plays a little bit more heavily with depending on whether you're running President or whether you're running some of the other early plays that go along, you can bump those up 2k power. On top of that, you can also play events without meeting color conditions. So you could actually run some of the yellow events and not necessarily have to worry about yellow as much. Last up, we have this 3-2 in yellow. On play heal. If you have the choice climax in play and you have 4 and more other, ditch a card when you attack to either on frontal and side attacks deal 2 or direct lanes deal 3. So it's a really pretty powerful end game, and it's not required to face off against a character to build burn.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's a really good rate because it's, burn 2 or burn 3 for the cost of just ditching a character. You're already running choice, so hopefully you already have a full hand. No additional stock cost. For 6 stock, you can full board this. And you can get around things like memory counter, which would affect this because you can side and still deal the damage. So you don't need to front into something to do that extra damage. So if your opponent is holding up memory counter, which would affect the full board condition, you can get around that. I like this. I'm a fan. I think this Chika top end is pretty viable. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back on Tuesday. Brandon will have a deck tech for Kaguya. We'll have gameplay the following Thursday. New clock talk the next Tuesday. And then in 2 weeks, we'll wrap this up with uncommons and commons. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And have a good one.
We'll see you then.